All right, let's have the conversation about men who aren't pursuing women anymore. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. It's just becoming all over the world. How do I know? Because your girl lives all over the world. And I'm going to tell you some real experiences that I've had. And then you'll be the judge. You can tell me at the end of the video, is this a global problem? Or no, it's just everything's fine as it is and we should just keep going as is. You can let me know by the end of the video. I would love to hear your honest opinions about this. So let's just cut to the chase. Why aren't men pursuing women anymore? I can already tell you what's going to be in my comment section. Why, Erica? How do you know this? Are you a mind reader? No, because I've been doing this for 16 years. And I've been hearing the same complaints for probably the last 10 years? Five years. Let's be conservative and say 5. I wanted a Candace Owens thing because she's like so extreme with her points. She's on fire right now. Not to get political, but she's on fire calling folks out. But I notice her points are super extreme. Like, it's like super black and white. Yeah, I can be the same way. So I sort of relate to her in that regards. But here's the reality. The reality is we've had feminism. We've had Me Too. You've had women who've increasingly become more entitled. We can thank social media for that. We can think of all the social conditioning. And women are just straight up getting bitchy when a guy does what a guy normally used to do, which was just approach a woman or give her a compliment or flirt. Now it's like this whole thing where a girl needs to TikTok her every move. Well, not anymore because it's banned in America. Not banned in Bali though, but I'm not a big TikToker. Anyways, but you have women TikToking and Instagramming their lives away going like, oh my God, this guy is catcalling me. I'm such a victim. And of course, what do men want to do? They create movements like men going their own way, which we don't hear anymore from those guys. I think we all kind of concluded that a lot of those guys have either become victims or they've given up. And so they're wanting to blame, which is still victim mentality. Or you have some guys who are just properly screwed over through divorce and losing money and children and all that. And they just don't know where to go. And for those guys, I have compassion. But the rest of that movement, just a bunch of wankers. So there's legitimate reason why you guys aren't pursuing women anymore. So we're on the same page with that, right? Like there's no confusion here as to why guys are not pursuing women or why you guys are becoming passport bros and going out to Thailand, going out to Bali, picking up the local girls and trying to make her into your Western wife. Like, I get it. They're more gentle, they're more submissive, they've got a lot more to lose, whereas Western women, like, you fuck them over and she's like, fine, I got my own money in my own bank. Peace, loser. But other women in different cultures, they typically don't come from money, and so they're more subservient and more likely to please. Okay, so we're all on the same page of why guys aren't pursuing and why they're doing the other things. So what does that mean for men who actually still do want to pursue? Maybe you're watching my video and you're like, no, Erica, my balls are still intact. I'm not going to let Me Too, I'm not going to let feminism, and I'm not going to let what's going on in our woke culture, which I think that is slowly dying out. I think Hollywood is slowly dying and we're kind of like, okay, it's enough. We've heard it. It just created more chaos and more disturbance for us. We still need connection at the end of the day. We can't just villainize the whole world. So you're like, Erica, yeah, I'm one of those guys that I still want a woman. I still want to pursue women. I'm not one of these guys who've given up. But yeah, there is some bullshit out there and I'm sick of the bullshit, but what can I do? If that's you, then trust me, this video, I got you, because there's a huge opportunity right now. Please, just in the comment section, just write huge opportunity, because for you guys who have not given up and who still want to pursue women, there is a huge opportunity for you right now. Because here is the reality. Guys have become soft. It's true. I was in Houston, Texas, thinking that the men would be different, so I got on a dating app, played with it. I literally had 2 guys, one just completely, I can't think of the term, but like completely just like lost his balls and just like bailed as I was driving to the date. Yeah, I'm calling you out because you were chicken shit. And then another guy right before the date canceled immediately and was like, can you reschedule tomorrow? It was like, I'm like, wait, you're not even being elegant about this. So that was Texas. And I have to say, I was super disappointed in the way that the men were showing up on the apps. I really thought that Texas was going to be different. I mean, the men were very good looking there. I was like sending pictures to my girlfriends. I'm like, look how hot the boys are in Texas. But when it came to like showing up as real men, I'm sorry to say, but the men in Texas were not showing up. France, same sort of thing. The men are a little bit more feminine. European men can be a little bit more feminine. Not all. I'm generalizing here. Like, let's use our brain and know that I'm generalizing. But men in France can be a little bit more on the feminine side. And now we are in Bali, Indonesia. So I'm literally talking about Asia. I'm talking about Europe. I'm talking about the States. And I know I'm just one woman, but guess what? I talk to other women and they're having the same experiences. So the reality is this, even in Bali, Indonesia, where you have lots of guys out here, they're not going up and approaching women. They're not pursuing women. In fact, they're becoming really soft. If a girl gives a little bit of pushback, it's like, oh no, I'm done. She must not be into me. On to the next one. Men everywhere, I'm sorry to say, guys, but we're becoming soft. We cannot talk about one side of the conversation of women becoming cold and, super hyper independent and really entitled, and not talk about the other end of the spectrum, which is men becoming super soft and not so masculine. So if you're still with me, then that tells me you're different from all of these guys who have this mentality, and you're gonna seize this big opportunity that is right in front of you if you so choose to do it. Really quick before I continue, I do have, if you're one of those guys, you're like, Arica, I do suck at seducing women. I wanna pursue women, but I suck at seducing them, then you wanna get my seduction guide. That is gonna really teach you how to properly seduce women. But let me continue on with this huge opportunity that I've been talking about. The reality is, it's never going to change where a woman doesn't want to be pursued. I don't care all the woke bullshit. And you know, I've been talking about this shit since day one. I don't care what women say and what they say to their girlfriends and what they expect behind closed doors are two different things. A woman is always going to want you to pursue her. Get that straight. I don't care what they say. The reality is a woman will always want to be pursued. But you got to have some fire in your balls to be the pursuer. And like I've said to you guys over and over, it's not like we're back in the days where you guys are in wars, you're out there fighting animals to bring food home. Like, listen, the bar to be a man is really low. Now it's just a bunch of mind-fucking manipulation of manipulating you guys into having bigger cars and bigger houses and all this bullshit. If you cut through all of the noise, listen, it's still your responsibility to be a man in this world, just like it's a woman's responsibility to not be hyper independent, to soften into her femininity, to be able to receive from a man, just as much as that's her responsibility. And where we have to soften our hard edges, you guys have to develop those hard edges again and being masculine. Now, you know, I also have my magnetic man program that takes you from the very beginning when you're one of those guys that maybe is on the sheepish side and really takes you into full warrior mode as the lion of your life. And if you want to become the lion of your life, then get that magnetic man program. It's in the comments section. It's in the description. But the reality is there are plenty of men who are not out pursuing, which means you as a man who still have that fire in your stomach, that fire in your balls to pursue a woman. That means that there are so many women out there who are just waiting for a man to be a real man and to go up and approach her, to pursue her, to ask her out on dates. When she gives a little bit of pushback, that he pushes more in, he leans in more, he doesn't back off, but he leans in more. Let me tell you, if you can start doing that, going back to the romance, going back to pursuing, going back to asking women out, going back to complimenting strangers, and if you have that sort of mentality of, if you do run into one of those woke women, that you see it for what it is, that you're not like some little baby that needs to be called like, oh, one girl wasn't nice to me, I need my mommy's titty. No, you're like, okay, so this was a bitch and she clearly has some fucking issues to deal with, but there's still soft, feminine women in this world, and I'm going to find my soft feminine woman. If you have that kind of heart posture, let me tell you, you are in the best time of your life right now, because women are thirsty for men like you. But that means you're going to have to walk out of your door and you're going to have to start talking to women. It means you're probably going to have to get on some dating apps and start asking women out. And it means that you're going to have to stay in your masculine, even when she gives you some pushback, because here's the thing, you're not fighting to bring her food anymore, okay? Okay, it's paying for a date. So guys, I really implore you, like, if you want to be a winner in your life, you got to come back to your masculinity. It's the same thing with women. If we don't want to die alone with our cats in our house, we're going to have to soften and be more receptive. It's on both sides of the spectrum. But what it boils down to is both parties not having a victim mentality, not taking their machine guns and blaming the world, but looking in the mirror and going, I've got some growing up to do. I've got some evolving to do, and it's my responsibility, and it's my life. My life pays for it if I don't change. And so I really hope that this was an awakening for you, a reckoning for you to go, something's got to change. Something has got to change, because the beauty is when you have a loving relationship, when someone who sees you, who's tender with you, who champions you, who wants to conquer life with you, when you have that kind of ride or die, there's nothing in this world that can replace this, because we are all of us made. We're all made for connection. You're made for connection. I'm made for connection. We are made for connection. So it's time to go out and pursue and start connecting with women. And as always, darling, here is a playlist full of videos to support you. Let them speak to your heart. Let them invigorate you and energize you. And I'll see you in my next video.